Hello everyone, welcome back for your new class session. In the last session, we studied about POP, introduction of POP, then characteristics of POP, and limitations of POP. Now, in this session, we will study about OOP. OOP. OOP is an object-oriented programming language, which is basically depends upon the features of object. Object is a real world entity which is having some characteristics as well as behavior. Object means we can say that now we are having some goals. The user requires or give us some goals. According to that, we make our programming. But before going on object, let us know about OOP because I am giving you the introduction of OOP. OOP is an approach to standardize the programs by creating a partitioned memory area for both data and functions. Remember my previous definition of POP. There, the focus of the programmer is only on functions rather than the data. But here, the focus is on data rather than the function. It does not allow data to flow freely from one function to another. Here, the data cannot be allowing them to flow freely from one function to another. In this programming, complete program is decomposed into a number of entities is called objects. Each object includes a set of data items and related functions. The data values of an objects are applicable only within the functions associated with that object. The resident data can never be handled by external functions. That means, suppose you made a program or you have created an object that has been handled by the same functions only. It cannot be handled by the other functions as we were doing in procedure oriented programming language. How? The functions over there are connected with each other and one function accessing the facility of other functions as the global data sharing. But here each and every functions are independent, and it is written also, it does not allow data to flow freely from one function to another. So in this way the data are protected and secured from being troubled by external sources, thus allowing object-oriented feature to be a powerful tool for programming. The organization of data and functions in object-oriented programming is always depends upon the way of programming you do. So keep in mind that object-oriented programming always requires the objects has to be clear, because if your object is not clear, you cannot make a program. Now what is object? Object is a unique entity which contains data and functions, which is also known as characteristics and behavior. Together, in an object oriented programming, that is OOP language. Once again, I am telling you what is object. It is a unique entity which contains data and functions together in an object oriented programming language. There are two types of objects. The first one is real world object and the other one is software objects. Real world object, the objects that we experience or use in our day to day life. Each real world object contains characteristics and behavior. The characteristics basically comprises the parts of its body or specifications, whereas behavior as the purpose of its use or its functions. And software objects, a software object may be defined as an object that is created while writing a Java program. When we compare a software object with real world object, then the characteristics are referred to as data members of software objects, whereas behavior of real world objects are compared with member methods that are also known as functions of software objects. So this is two types of objects which I have not given in this notes, but I told you about these two types of objects which really help you all to know that which type of objects we are having in our program. And our main focus is going to be on these 2 points only, real world objects and software objects, because we are working in a computers field and we are studying about computers, so always we have to talk about software objects. And software objects are also same like real world objects, they are also having characteristics and behavior, but the characteristics defined over here as the name data members and behavior defined here as member methods, or we can say functions. So let us come upon on our topic. After introduction of OOP, the next topic we are having features of OOP. But before going on that, one very important point regarding OOP. An OOP is a modular approach which allows the data to be applied within stipulated program area. It also provides the reusability features to develop productive logic, which means to give more emphasis on data. This point is very important. It also provides the reusability features. Reusability feature means you do not require to make the same code every time. Once you have created a data for your program, you have the authority, or we can say you have a feature that you can reuse it as many as you want. So keep in mind, the reusability feature is in the object oriented programming technique, not in procedure oriented programming. That's why I told that the number of lines of codes were increasing in POP, because reusability is not there. Whenever we want to add anything, we have to recreate it, and this facility is there in object oriented programming. Means if you have created any data, you do not require to write it many times. You can access it as many as you want. Now some of the object oriented programming are as follows: C++, Java, Python, Ruby, and Eiffel, and many more languages are there, which we can say it is object oriented programming language. Now, features of OOP, object oriented programming. It is highly beneficial to solve complex problems. Object oriented programming is very highly beneficial to solve complex problem which we are not able to solve in POP. Complex problem, that means if any problem creates requires a big amount of strategy to make, so it has to be done under object oriented programming only. Procedure oriented programming cannot do it because of non reusable nature, and in complex problems we have to access the same features many times. So that's why to solve complex problems we always prefer object oriented programming. First feature. Second feature, data hiding. Data hiding always enhances the security features in OOP. Data hiding means you can hide your data, whatever data you want to hide with the user, you can hide it, and it will enhance your security features. Security features, that means no one can access your data without the permission of yours. So you have to keep in mind that whenever you make any program or any file also, you just show that much of data in working, and rest all you can hide it, and this feature is only available in object oriented programming language, which makes it more usable than POP. Next, reusability feature. As I told you before also, due to reusable nature, it is very beneficial to the users, because every time if I have to create the same code, then that will be a tedious and hectic job to do. Then the last one, it divides the big problem or program into smaller objects to make it simpler and easily easily accessible. Means suppose you are having very big problem, very big program in front of you, then by using object oriented programming you just make it half, or you can make a group. If I want to give you one example, suppose you are learning any history answers and your teacher has given it in a long form and you are not able to understand it. So in that case what you will do, you just divide that full question solution into smaller programs in points. That will be easy to learn you all. In the same manner, in programming also, if the line of codes are very big, then that programs are divided into smaller parts, and smaller parts are easily accessible by the users. So this is the features of OOP. Next topic, difference between OOP and POP. Means what are the basic difference between OOP and POP, we will know. I think whatever I had told you previous, from that only I have differentiated these two things, and it is very easy also, and you can see also I have taken out the same point what I had told you. The first one, the stress is put on the functions rather than data, whereas in object oriented programming the stress is put on the data rather than the functions. In POP the stress is put on the function rather than data, whereas in OOP the stress is put on data rather than the functions. First difference. Second difference, it allows data to flow freely throughout the program, whereas the data is restricted to be used in a specific program area in object oriented programming language. POP, it follows top down approach, whereas object oriented always follows bottom up programming approach. So this is the difference between POP and OOP. Hope you will like it. Thank you. We'll meet again with the new session with new lesson.